I've been reporting and showing you guys a lot of the craziest new AI video that's been coming out. It's getting very, very realistic and you can do a lot with it. But what's happening recently has me shocked. So it all started with this image. Now, this is an image that was generated with something called Flux. It's a brand new AI image generator. They just came out with their latest model and it is insane. When I saw this image, it shocked me because of the insane realism. Now, we've seen some very realistic images come out with AI before, but when I look at this, even when I look at the small details of this image, it's basically impossible for me to tell whether this is AI generated or not. I look into the details here, even down to the Google badge, the microphone details. I mean, everything about it just looks real. If I was sent this image and I had an AI or real test, I would tell you that this is real. I think a lot of people were shocked when they saw this, and you can tell by how many views this post got on X that a lot of people were shocked. And I posted this as well. So I started to look into Flux and I started to see what it's all about. And the more I saw, the more it really impressed me and scared me. What I'm basically seeing is that this is actually Stable Diffusion, but they're very much on the same track. What I'm seeing more and more of is just this insane realism and what I would call day-to-day realism. So like a picture that you would maybe take on an iPhone with your friends or a professional camera shot that you would always expect to be real. That's what I'm seeing more and more of. Now, after I saw that, I saw this thread on Twitter that's going absolutely viral where it's showing basically people taking Flux, this new image generator, and running it through things like Runway and just showing how insanely real some of this video starts to look when you do that. So they took this picture basically and they put it through Runway. And I mean, when I watch this, you can still tell it's AI, but it's almost indiscernible. And the one thing about AI, you can tell a lot of times when an AI video is generated because they're not talking, because even in video games, talking always looks fake when it's generated using, something 3D. It never looks real. But this looks very, very, very real. Her facial expressions, the way she blinks, the way her face moves when she talks, it looks very, very real. So this has started to blow my mind. And if we go through some of these examples here, one of the more catfishy type of videos, and again, most of the time AI videos, their mouth is closed and they look very serious. And that's kind of for a reason when they're demoing these, because it's easier to look real when your mouth is closed. When they're actually smiling like this and moving their mouth around, that's when the AI can really get tested. And I'm seeing a huge improvement. That you could see the little glitch of AI there, but I'm seeing a huge, huge improvement here. So fresh, like so this is like a car thing, right? So this isn't a person, but so if we go through some of these car videos, I mean, this looks pretty real. I mean, this looks like a real car that could be in a showroom somewhere. Again, it's just getting harder and harder to tell whether these are legit or this is AI generated. So if we just go through a few more of these examples.
Really affects my mood. Look how nice it looks out today. So
audio.
sunny. My brother has some friends coming over later today.
This has audio put into it. To be honest, I wasn't that impressed with this one. Her mouth is not moving properly. This is using Kling to animate a Flux image. So I wasn't super impressed with this, and the audio behind it isn't amazing either, but that was getting a lot of attention. This one was really impressive to me. If I just zoom in on these, I mean, it's just so crazy to me how realistic this is getting. I mean, the dimples, the little scarring on his face or whatever you'd call this, it's just getting so realistic. I mean, it's shocking, honestly. I'm like speechless when I look at some of these images. It's really, really crazy. And again, when you mix these with the video generators that can take these and actually turn them into full videos, when it gets really, really crazy. So again, more of these conference speakers. The conference speaker thing is really what took it to the next level. Because again, it just looks, I don't know, something about being at a conference looks so real. And this is just like a singer here. So here are some more of like what I would call day-to-day pictures, like what you'd see on like an old iPhone or something. I mean, this one's crazy. This one might be the craziest one of all of them. Something about the graininess of this picture, something about the iPhone 7 look of this picture shocks me. It's really crazy. Some of the anime stuff, pretty cool. We've seen this before. The galloping giraffe was pretty cool. So you get the point. There's a lot more of these too. So look of, the girl talking in the video. This one, again, didn't super impress me, but I thought it was something cool to show you. This one I thought was really, really good. So again, speaker at a conference, walking around, talking, looking more and more realistic. And again, when somebody talks, when the mouth is moving is when you can sort of tell that it's AI. Going back to that video game example, when the mouth is moving, it becomes so obvious that this is computer generated graphics, right? But they're just getting so much better at this. Another example here. I thought this one was really good too. I can tell you this, the AI girlfriend niche is going to be huge. That's a fact. No way to stop that. It's going to be massive. When you start getting this realistic, it's going to be huge. We already went through this one. I showed you guys this one already. Very, very cool. And just a few more of like the speaker thing where, people at a conference. This is, I think, what really, again, struck people a lot is just these people speaking at a conference, how real this looks. So and this is using actually a tool called Hedra Labs, which is it animates people's faces, kind of like HeyGen does, which I thought was really cool. Also, I'm not super impressed with this, to be honest. I think we're going to get to that next level very, very, very quickly. So I'm going to show you a few more examples, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to create this type of image using Flux, and then I'm going to show you how to turn it into a video, which I know a lot of you want to see. This one I thought was really good too. That looks very realistic. I mean, if you sent me that 2 years ago, there's no way I could tell you that's AI generated. The catfishing is going to be out of control, guys. There's no way around it. When you can do this with AI, the catfishing is going to be out of control. I mean, just picture like the older generation. They're not looking for the cues of this is AI generated. Even the younger generation. This is going to get wild with the catfishing. So yeah, I mean, we'll go through a few more of these just to kind of show you what this is about. Again, they're taking a Flux image, running it through Kling. This could be Runway. What's cool about this one, we already went through this one. I showed you guys this one already. Very, very cool. And just a few more of like the speaker thing where, people at a conference. This is, I think, what really, again, struck people a lot is just these people speaking at a conference, how real this looks. So and this is using actually a tool called Hedra Labs, which is it animates people's faces, kind of like HeyGen does, which I thought was really cool. Also, I'm not super impressed with this, to be honest. I think we're going to get to that next level very, very, very quickly. So I'm going to show you a few more examples, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to create this type of image using Flux, and then I'm going to show you how to turn it into a video, which I know a lot of you want to see. This one I thought was really good too. That looks very realistic. I mean, if you sent me that 2 years ago, there's no way I could tell you that's AI generated. The catfishing is going to be out of control, guys. There's no way around it. When you can do this with AI, the catfishing is going to be out of control. I mean, just picture like the older generation. They're not looking for the cues of this is AI generated. Even the younger generation. This is going to get wild with the catfishing. So yeah, I mean, we'll go through a few more of these just to kind of show you what this is about. Again, they're taking a Flux image, running it through Kling. This could be Runway. What's cool about this one is that it has that sort of shaky camera look, like they're moving around. It looks very genuine. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this last one using Kling. Again, not super impressed with what Kling's does with animating mouths and things like that. It just looks pretty fake to me, but also pretty cool. So the last thing I wanted to show you is sort of how to take this to the next level and how to generate videos like this, where you can create that person using something like Flux, which is that new image generator. You could also use Midjourney for this, but Flux is free and it's pretty cool and it's easy to use. So I'm gonna show you how to use Flux. And a lot of people are saying that Flux is better than Midjourney at this point. I think they're pretty even, to be honest, but we're getting some really good results with Flux. So that's what I'm gonna show you how to use here. So again, how to do stuff like this. And it's actually really, really simple. So another example he showed here is like these mom and pop influencers, which I thought were really good. I mean, this is awesome. And so basically what he's saying is that he's taking an image, he's creating it in Flux, and then he's running it through Runway. Pretty simple. So we're going to try that together. So let's get into the tutorial. Now there's a bunch of different ways that you can run Flux. I'm going to give you some of the easier options that are paid options, and I'm also going to give you a free alternative, although it's going to be very, very limited, and we'll jump right in. So one of the paid versions you can use here is something called Free Pick. Basically, you get an account and you can use their Flux model, their fast model, and their realism model. You do need to pay for this. I believe it's 20, 25 bucks a month, and you'll be able to use this directly. This is definitely the easiest way to go. You can create styles, you can give it colors, camera angles. So this is actually going to really, really help you dial in exactly what you want to do with your images. And if you're doing this professionally, if you want to create AI influencers, if you want to generate videos for ads, things like that, I would highly recommend going this route. If you're trying to make money, you got to spend money. That's just the fact of it. If you want to be cheap about it, you're going to have a lot of limitations. But I'm going to show you a cheaper alternative that's also paid, and that's called Replicate. So you can come to replicate.com, you can sign up for an account. Now, what's cool about Replicate is you can basically use like every single AI model, similar to Hugging Face and others, and I'm going to show you Hugging Face in a second. But basically the way it works, you come to replicate.com, you create an account, and they charge you per use of the models. So I can come in here and I can search anything. I can use Llama. If I go to the homepage, there's a bunch of different stuff you could use here. So if I come to the homepage of Replicate, you can see that they have a ton of different options here for different AI models I could use. I mean, you could use Llama. You could use basically any AI model that's out there right now that's open source. You can run through Replicate. So if I come through here and I look for Flux, we're going to go with the dev one. I think is the cheapest option of all of them. I can come through here and I can give it prompts, aspect ratios. I can give it some of these different variations, and I can generate images. Now, it's not gonna be as dialed in as if I'm using free pick, right? So that's why this is a little bit more expensive, because I can actually dial in styles and colors and camera angles and things like that, and lighting. This is gonna be a little bit more based on the prompts. You can dial that in your prompts though, right? So I can come in here and I can tell it the colors I want, and that's basically all free pick is doing. It's just adding that to the prompt when it generates the image, right? The styles, the colors, but it gives you an idea of what it looks like. So I think, again, if you're going for easier, faster outputs, this is going to work better for you. If you want something a little cheaper, you could use Replicate, which is going to be able to do this for you, but you'd have to write out the prompts yourself, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper. And then if you want a totally free option, you can just come here to Hugging Face, and you could just find the Flux model here. So you could just type Flux. So Hugging Face, again, is a lot like Replicate. It's a little bit more tech friendly, like for more techie people that can come in here and use this. You can actually download these models. You can deploy them to your own servers. You can customize them. You can do a bunch of cool stuff with Hugging Face. I might get into that in another video. But for now, what you can do is you can come in here and you can just test this model out. So if I come here to the inference API and I type here, realistic photo of an Olympian woman who is getting ready to compete. Let's say hyper realistic, lower angle, dramatic lighting, something like that. Let's do that. This is actually going to generate an image for us for free. This is very limited. So here's what we got. You're going to have to do this. Again, you're going to have to dial this in a lot, and you will get a few of these, but it's not for free forever. And again, it's going to limit you, and you'll be able to do this. But what's really cool is once we have an image that we like, using Flux, we can then come into Runway and we can animate them. I took some of the images from these threads that I was showing you. I took some of the ones that I thought were really good and I ran them into Runway, and I wanted to see what it came up with. So first one I did is I took that singer and I said to sing passionately and zoom out, showing the band. So actually, I mean, it's not terrible. It's kind of funny how it works though, because like it starts here and then face is changing a little bit too much. The band, it's just funny how it looks. It's like a weird dream. But at some moments it looks pretty cool, and definitely not usable though for anything production wise, but I thought it was kind of cool. And then I took this astronaut and I said, speaking with someone behind the camera, looking concerned. Some of this looks pretty good, but the intro was really weird. Like, look what she does with her face here. That's so funny. And then like from here on out, let's say like this last 5 seconds, it's actually pretty good. Like it looks pretty solid. Like she's saying something to someone off camera, but that first part really got me. I thought that was pretty funny. And then I took this one, which was one of the images I found that Flux made. And this was the best one by far. In fact, I thought this was really, really good. So it's like really good actually. That weird hand thing that shows up here. So like you see like the hand shows up. That was a little weird, right? Like obviously there's no way her hand could be there from where it is in her body, right? There's no way her hand would be there. So that's kind of weird. But if I play the rest of this, you'll see one more weird hand thing show up. But if you ignore that and you just see her talking, it's pretty perfect, honestly. It's actually even better than some of the other ones I saw. Like really, really good. So again, eliminating the weird hand stuff, I thought this was like incredible. So you could literally just crop out that weird hand thing and it's really, really good. So this is an example of what I think you can do with this, where I could take this, I could lip sync this to, say something for an ad or for, like I said, like an AI girlfriend or video production, whatever you want to do. And this is like hyper realistic people talking, again, crossing that threshold of realism where of people actually talking and having conversations on camera, off camera, whatever. That is what this can do right now. So again, taking Flux, I showed you how to use that, running that through Runway and seeing what you can do. So that's really cool. I think one of the other reasons why this one worked so well is because the actual image was already perfectly cropped for this aspect ratio. And I think the position of the face and the way the image was done, I think just held really well for that. So if you're gonna do this, again, you could use something like Free Pick, but I would definitely set the portrait ratio properly, right? So you'd wanna set the aspect ratio properly. And then you'd want the image, you'd want it to be somebody looking at the camera and already smiling and already have their mouth open, and having a nice lighting effect as well to turn out to be this good, right? Which is what this one ended up being. So that's pretty much the whole tutorial. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos like this in the future. I'm gonna be showing you how to do a lot more cool stuff with AI, how to make money with AI. I'm also gonna drop a link to my newsletter in the description below. I go through some of the ways that I make money online and ways that you can make money online using AI and other tools.